Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry, the last episode, due to power cut, it was abruptly stopped. I'm just going to continue for the legal licenses, documents required to kickstart your cloud kitchen, what I'm talking about. So, last what I left was about the FSSI license. This is nothing but your Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, which is a mandatory license if you're running any kind of cloud kitchens or restaurants or a QSR model, anything which is specific related to the food related. Even if you're selling any products, it's a mandatory that you should have your license is a unique code which comes in, and that you have to flash it in your bill, as well as if you're trying to having a branding on your on your logos, on your probably on your company which you want to package it. So it used to cover, it has to cover the FSSA license. So with that in mind, not wasting further time, just to explain what it is an essential permit required to open your restaurants, and is also obtained from the FSSI. So what you have to do is basically go to the FSSI website and then register yourself. Do not look for any middlemen or any other vendors as such. It's very clear that you go ahead and register, fill in all your details, but making sure that you have your rental agreements, your GST filed, and you figure it out in terms of what your companies plan to do and what you're selling. In this case, it's cloud kitchen. For example, we take your biryani joints as one of the prime. I mean, if you're trying to create one as your business profile or a product which you plan to sell from your cloud kitchen, so mention that, which means that you'll be distributing only in the district that you're present at that moment. For example, if it is in Bangalore, this will be assigned to the Bangalore. Many people get confused that there are two types of licenses. One is on the expensive side, somewhere between 20,000, 10,000 rupees and above. Depends currently what's happening. But then to address this query today, it's very clear that you have to take FSSI if you're circulating within the Bangalore community. Let's say whatever, wherever in Bangalore. Another one is a state to state licenses. This is just in case if you're providing the food outside your states. Thanks to Zomato, the intercity delivery which happens, for in that case, you have to have another FSSA license. As I said, this FSSA license will merely cost you between 2,000 to 5,000 rupees. Depends what's the pricing currently right now. My only concern is that do not look for any broker or any other middleman. It's mandatory. Go to your website, fill in all the details, pay online. You would get your documents, and also you'll get the legal certificate which you have to attest it, put it in the frame it and put it in your place, wherein just in case if you have a food inspector visiting us, he'll ask you for the FSSA license. So it's very important, mandatory, specifically if you it ensures that the food of that particular restaurant, it confirms that you're achieved in terms of food and safety standard, you follow certain guidelines of FSSI. With that in mind, since you're running a cloud kitchen, since you have the water, it's always mandatory. Every 15 days, you go ahead and do that water testing. And just in case if you're not sure, I mean, as long as your vendor is aligned with the product that he or she is selling it to you, making sure that once in a while, probably every 3 months or every 2 months, just please test your food as well. It is, see, to do a food testing and a water testing, it is depends on the lab that you achieve, because do not go to a lab which is not NABL certified, which is the laboratory lab which has been certified as NABL. Uh, be very clear, precise. They also conduct only for food. If you're a food lab, please get it testified from them. They will be able to help you out, because just in case if you're trying to align with Swiggy and Zomato, they will also do a surprise audit of your kitchen. So in order to do this, making sure that you fulfill a lab as your priority, keep that in mind. You can always mention that COVID has taught you that your employees, your staffs who are working in your kitchen has to mandatorily have a health checkup done. So similarly, your food and safety and water has to be also checked all the time, preferably on a timeline of 15 days for water, or probably every 3 months or 6 months on your food as well, because that in turn that keeps your kitchen team in check in terms of what kind of food, what kind of oil, what kind of grocery that you're buying. It's also not contaminated. It is not having any kind of virus or salmonella or any other bacteria formation which will cause due to your food preparation, and otherwise you're going to have a very bad remark. So FSSI will give you proper guidelines to go ahead and follow, so please go ahead and follow. Another important thing that you have to have, if you're within Bangalore or within any town, if you're coming under the municipal corporation, it's always better to have a shop and establishment act licenses. This licenses regulate the working conditions. This is primarily in terms of your kitchen is concerned, making sure that the rights of the employees of the establishment is aligned with the vision and mission of your branding of your company. Please understand, we're going to talk about only about a cloud kitchen which can have a brand. See, I mean, you would have seen many restaurants in Bangalore of late, right? So they have pretty good deal. They don't survive more than a year or so. Partly it's also because of, remember, as I mentioned, you have to go watch my first video. It's always about your research and development of your company that you have to do before you generate your proper order, your first even sale. So making sure that your food is concise, your packaging, your logistic, your kitchen is in place, your kitchen alignment, your kitchen equipment is in aligned, making sure that you follow all the protocols of all the kitchen necessity of basically, if you're a HACCP certified level 3 or a level 2 or a level 1 is a primary. Even if you're level 3 certified, for example, let's say your chopping board, right? If you're doing a non-veg, making sure that you have a red. If you have blue, it's for the seafood. Obviously you have to have a green chopping board. So your chopping boards, your knives, sometimes, not all the time, not, I mean, most of the time, you should be sanitizing most of your thing and use proper guidelines of your hygiene chemicals, because these are the things which will draw attention, and you can invite a lot of influencers and the food bloggers and vloggers to come and visit your kitchen and have a look at it. How is it being held? How is it being, how you're performing in terms of your entire day-to-day operation. So that will help you to ensure that you do not have food inspector or foodborne illnesses coming in only because your kitchen is dirty. So Shop and Establishment Act will determine in terms of how regulatory that you follow in terms of your state, town, municipal corporation is concerned. Your working conditions of your kitchen also right for your employees. So keep that in mind. Shop and Establishment Act is very mere. You just need to apply again. If you're in Bangalore, you can go to BBMP website. You can register looking for a Shop and Establishment Act. Again, it spans out, depends on your area, of your size of your kitchen. You have to mention everything that in your website, making sure you fill in all the documents, scan the documents and keep it just in case. This is for your good and safety purposes. Always the company document in one folder, including your Aadhaar, your PAN. In case if you're registered private limited, in that case your company's PAN and your TAN, your DSC, everything is systemized in way so that you do not miss all these documents while you're uploading it online. Making sure that you also have a carbon copy which has been listed. So once you get a Shop and Establishment Act, this also should go on your wall along with your FSSA license. Very clear. It's about Shop and Establishment Act, mandatory to about understanding your working conditions of your kitchen and also the rights of employees. See, understand another thing. If you're a private limited company or anything above than 15 employees, it's mandatory that you should have an ESI and a PF documentation as well. For that, you have to get in touch with your company secretary or your CA to get this thing organized. That's another mandatory. Please remember, anything above than 15 or 20 employees, precisely 15 on the lower side, that's when, if you see, most of the employee strength are very less, because to just not to comply with governing rules of that particular state, which you have to and got to abide with. So ESAPF is also goes hand in hand. But if you're a proprietorship less than 15 employees, Shop and Establishment Act will be more sufficient to go ahead. Clear? Let's move on. I don't see this happening in most of the setups. This policy, which is nothing but a fire and safety license certificate. This will ensure that it requires to ensure that your establishment is acquired with necessity fire safety equipments, and also it complies with the fire safety regulations. If it is in Bangalore, if it is state to state, matters a lot. You have to undergo, a fire extinguisher wherever, on the exit, on the hot area, kitchen area, precisely wherever you're operating with a temperature which is really more than 70 degrees. It's prone to have fire. So making sure that your fire extinguisher is kept, your exit and entry point is being covered, your staff is being trained. So find a vendor who could do all of this thing in a very good cost. Depends, if you want to have a certificate only, then if you want to, depends on the vendor, right? So there are various modules, but just to kickstart, I mean, I would say, so please have fire safety uh, in case if you have a standalone kitchen. And if you're shared kitchen, look for the regulation options from your owner or from your vendor who's providing you that space. A shared kitchen space should have a fire safety certificate. It's a mandatory at this current juncture. I mean, you recently heard many disaster news because of gas explosions. So again, I'll come to the kitchen designing layout, primarily resourcing your your gas cylinder, which has been kept under safety norms and safety regulatory. So fire safety is another mandatory certificate that you have to follow, provided you're trying to build a brand on your cloud kitchen. Most of the vendors who want to food regulatory will understand this concept. It is only for those who do not understand why should I spend. It all goes under your capital expenditure cost. So making sure that you cover this aspect as well. All right. Okay. Another thing, which again, and I don't see this, not even any single person branding follows. It's a very hush hush thing. I mean, COVID has taught all these options for us, but primarily, if you're a HACCP standard, if you knew about what is food regulatory, what are the norms in terms of your conditions applied to having a cloud kitchen, specifically any food restaurants, a 5 star or a 4 star, whatever. This part is very, very important, which is nothing but your health trade license. This is to required to making sure that your kitchen and your company complies with the health and hygiene regulations of your staff, including yourself. If you're prone going inside the kitchen, you have to make sure that all your employees has been checked for health hazards and also for hygiene quality standards. My dear folks, this is an epitome of your delivery module if you're trying to build your brand in the cloud kitchen, because without this, you just cannot go ahead and further. Because please understand, what did COVID teach you, right? COVID taught you that viruses can spread everywhere. Okay. If you're working with your stale meat or a spoiled meat, you're checking your temperature, or head chef or a main master chef should be available to check what kind of food is being prepared. Always flush out the oldest items, making sure that you do a stock check very well. So apart from this, the sacrosanct is your health of your kitchen staff, making sure that they're in good uniforms. Do not use any plastic aprons, making sure that you have a very safety shoes, a very good, fireproof, not a fireproof, I would say, at least a uniform which has been covered safety for them, making sure that you use gloves all the time, which has been food graded gloves. And I've seen a lot of issues with this. They just go and grab those plastic gloves. People don't understand you're working with a temperature which is above 70 and goes up to 160 to 320 degrees. It'll just melt. So your plastic has to be avoided, making sure that whatever you wear, it's food graded gloves. I know it's expensive again, but not at the cost of the customer who falls sick, or not at the cost of your employee who's working. So, health safety, primarily you need to have 4 shots. One is your flu shot, your diarrhea, your jaundice, and also influenza. These are the 4 shots which has been to be given periodically, making sure that your kitchen staff is kept always hygiene. Your nails they're working upon. Sometimes, I mean, many have this problem. In the kitchen specifically, I always make it mandatory that kitchen should wear completely full till your. I know they're working with the full temperature, which is completely warmed up of warm, hot kitchen, but still only for the hair compliances, right? If you have a women employees, making sure that they're completely tied, the ballooned up hair, and also wearing a very good proper hairnet. So these are the points to keep your health and hygiene regulatory. And it showcases the how the owner thinks, or the entrepreneur or food startup thinks, how well they take care of your employees. That's another thing which to carry according to you, another set of document. This is a sacrosanct, a biblical document. If you're a caterer, it's a epitome of all the hygiene. Without hygiene, you're not getting this contract to go ahead and serve the other companies, specifically when you target the high potential corporate clients. So health and hygiene aspect is mandate, high epitome of the just top notch of hygiene and health for your staff. As an entrepreneur, even if you enter in kitchen, making sure that you always wear your hairnet and also your gloves. Sometimes it's always better that you have use and throw cloth material apron once you enter, because these are the things which people will talk at this point of video creation, of content creation. Everything matters a lot, even if you're not doing business right now, but looking at those videos. So again, I will come to the marketing aspects of it, but these are the points which will actually give you a fantastic notch above than anybody else. If you're a cloud kitchen, please follow. It'll really, really give you a fantastic add-on benefit. If at all, if you're doing a marketing, if you're trying to showcase whoever it is, it might not be you're trying to just show the world what you do, but these are the basic necessity which many Indian restaurants or cloud kitchens do not follow. Making sure that health and certification of your employee for specifically your health and hygiene, please take that copy. If you walk into any government clinic, you can take that flu shots for free. If you tie up with your any doctor, making sure that he or she comes with your health certificate, making sure that he or she is not prone to any problem, because we take it for granted when we recruit. Because I had one of those cases, just to give you an example. Today, how do you determine that a person is really healthy? See, if I'm taking medications, I mean, COVID also taught you a very good mass systems, making sure that I mean, I would not say top notch, sacrosanct, anything else, but this is a make or break. One of our employee, I didn't know she was all well. She was working. She was on the dishwashing. We overlooked on this aspect because we're just trying to fill in the staffs. We had to take her provided. I mean, her back experience also was in the previous company where she worked as a dishwasher. But once we did the blood and the urine sample, because wherein the client was asking us to do this checkup later, and then we realized that the lady had leprosy. Oh my goodness gracious. Post the report, we got to know, and it was such a painful thing, because we take it for granted, specifically in India. We take a whole lot of things for granted. Many fake certificates has to be done. So please do not accept in your interviews all the documents which is being done right. For example, your health and safety from your company's policy. I mean, from your employees who was coming in for the interview, making sure that it's absolutely done front of you, get it done, and then only recruit. Take that time, teething time, because this is when your R&D will solve whole lot of problems. So keep that in mind. Health and safety. This is not a non mandatory document, but then it is always better on the safety side. It's an NOC from your local municipal, just in case if you're located outside the town, wherein you're not complying with the municipal, the local municipal corporation. You'll be coming under the local panchayat, so called in India. So you have to go to that particular place, talk to your commissioner and explain about it. What do you do? Write a good letter, talk to that zonal panchayat head, explaining this is what we do. We don't have any firewood cooking. Mention about your business and services that you promote, what kind of food that you serve, and who are your clients. Get that seal and certification. It's 1 year contract. Sometimes it's period of contract of years of contract, but it's always preferable that you do it for a 1 year and then renew it, because you never know, things might change, client might ask for various things. So keep that in mind, the loop, just in case if you're outside of the local municipal corporations. So divinity is that you have to go get an NOC done. So that's more important. So that's when all these documents said and done to start your cloud kitchen. See, cloud kitchen can be done anywhere else, right? It could be done outskirts of your town. It could be done probably in the fourth floor, provided you have a safety lift as well, a so-called, the service lift which can carry your food up and down, making sure that your vendor comes and delivers all your groceries in one particular way. So have the entire model. So I'll explain that in the next video about the kitchen designs and the layout, your hot area, your cold area, your freezer, your walk-in chiller, your walk-in pantry, very, very mandatory walk-in pantry, your rodents. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm just suffering from cold. I had to take a break to do this video. So if you're watching to this deep end, I'll request you to go ahead and smash the like, hit that notification of bell. It makes a world to me. I mean, it takes a lot of pain to create such kind of content. So I'll appreciate. Go ahead and smash and like and follow and subscribe, please. Okay, so that's about it. Just to reiterate, the documents, there are documents is absolutely necessary and necessity and a need to run a fantastic brand of cloud kitchen, which is nothing but your GST, your goods and service tax document, your FSSI document, your shop and establishment document, your fire safety certificate, your health trade licenses, and in case if you're outskirts of town, is your NOC, a no objection certificate from your panchayat, municipal panchayat outskirts of town. So the sixth document is mandatory to kickstart. There are many other documents. It's not many, I would say another two, primarily for those particular brands who have a larger kitchens. You have to take a hygiene chemicals, which is my portfolio, which I talk about it surely about the HACCP and the hygiene protocols. Washing hands, your safety for your vegetables wash, for your fruits salad wash tablets, your hot plates, your greasy plates, your oily, your chimney, your canopy. Everything has different chemicals, comes with the training, certification, whole lot of stuff that will really value add, and dispensing for your chemicals has to be kept under certain guidelines. So many things will be covered under the kitchen design layout. It's going to be a lengthy session, so stick on. So if you have any questions, as usual, please go ahead and write to me in an email, or you can also leave your comments after this watching this video. I'll be more than happy to go ahead and guide exactly what is required. See, please understand, I come from the consulting background. I had run two multiples of great kitchen of 15,000 square feet of catering unit. We were catering to almost 20,000 to 30,000 meals a day, Monday to Sunday, 24 hours of operations, having one in 90 kitchen team and around 90 to 100 around service team. It was quite a challenge. Two vehicles running up and down, vehicle conditions. I mean, we were actually paying for the food wastage where people would come and feed those pigs. A huge cost involved when you're running a catering. I mean, it all comes down to the profitability model. How you going to look at your P&L? Is it mandatory that you work with such kind of clients? So most of the questions can be covered as we roll along with this episodes about building a brand to come up with your cloud kitchen, as well as your food brand in terms of your restaurant or your QSR, or even for the matter of fact, a state of an art catering unit. Okay. All right. With that in mind, thanks for sticking by. I really appreciate it. This is Paul signing off. Take care. Cheers. Bye bye.